Dear friends, in the last episode we learned that our journey of evolution is the journey from illusion to supreme consciousness. We also learned about the three layers of creation. The first layer being the land of consciousness. The next layer is a subtle layer or subtle plane. And the third layer is the physical world or the material world. So the journey towards supreme consciousness means we have to rise over the physical world and the subtle plane and then progress towards the land of supreme consciousness. Each of these three layers have got 6 stages each. So there are 18 stages from the physical world to the land of supreme consciousness. To understand this in a layman's language, if we are at the base and if we need to climb to the peak, we need to climb 18 steps to go from the base to the peak. That's like the journey from one stage of consciousness to another, till we reach supreme consciousness. What about these stages? How do you understand this? As I said, each layer has 6 stages. If you look at the physical world, or if you look at our physical body, there are 6 layers. These can be described as the 6 chakras. We have Muladhara, which is at the base of the spine. Swadhisthana, which is at the lower abdomen area. Manipur, which is at the navel. Anahat, which is at the heart. Vishuddhakya, which is at the throat. Agnya Chakra, which is inside of brain at the pineal gland. Awakening these chakras is nothing but awakening different stages of consciousness. The Agnya Chakra or the pineal gland, which is the highest chakra, is described as the pinnacle of supreme knowledge. When we go to the subtle plane, it also has 6 stages. And when we rise above the subtle plane to the land of consciousness, it also has 6 stages. The highest stage among all the 18 stages is Dayal Dham. Dayal Dham is the abode of supreme consciousness. As we continue with the journey towards supreme consciousness, we move from one stage to another. Let's take an example. The example of a child who has never seen an aeroplane. Such a child loves to play with toy aeroplanes because he probably has seen the aeroplane in the skies and thought that it's a miracle, it's not real. But when the child grows up and his parents take him to an airport and he sees an aircraft from close proximity, he understands an aeroplane is not a miracle, it is real. And if he gets an opportunity to fly in an aeroplane with his parents, his level of understanding about the aeroplane grows much higher. If his uncle happens to be a pilot and if he gets a chance one day to sit in the cockpit with his uncle while he is flying, he experiences the aircraft even at a higher level of awareness. If the same child grows up, learns how to fly an aircraft and becomes a pilot, his awareness about the aeroplane and flying is probably at the highest level. Look at the different stages of awareness. For a child who thinks an aeroplane is a miracle, becomes more aware about it, moves from one level of awareness to another till he reaches the highest level of awareness about an aeroplane. The journey towards supreme consciousness is also like that. It's from one level of consciousness to another, to yet another, till one reaches supreme consciousness. If you remember, in the previous episodes, we learned that the whole universe was created from the cosmic primordial vibration, and the holy name is the mechanical composition of that vibration. In other words, the holy name or the Bees mantra is the bees or the seed from which the whole universe was created. If the Bees mantra or holy name is the seed for the creation, it's important for us to understand that
each of the 18 layers
in this whole creation also has a seed. There was a primary seed from which everything started, but everything continued through different layers, and each layer also has a primary seed from which that layer emerged or originated. No wonder we get to hear about so many mantras, Om, Hing, Kling, and so on. Each mantra is the seed for a particular level of consciousness. A particular mantra or name can take us to a particular level of consciousness. In this world, there are many rishis, saints, who have achieved certain level of consciousness through their spiritual practice. If the Bees mantra or the holy name is the vibratory image of supreme consciousness, each mantra is the vibratory image of a particular layer, particular level of consciousness. In this world, there are many rishis, many sadhus and saints who have mastered different levels of consciousness with the help of corresponding levels of mantras. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Let's imagine a situation. There are a few people who started a journey from Bhubaneswar to Kolkata. And let's imagine that Bhubaneswar to Kolkata has 18 stations along the way. After the journey started, there is somebody who got down at Bhadrak railway station. He went inside the Bhadrak town. Now that person knows everything about Bhadrak railway station, the platform, the town, etc. But he doesn't know anything beyond that. Somebody who got down at Balasore knows everything about the journey from Bhubaneswar to Balasore and knows everything about the Balasore station. But he doesn't know anything beyond that. Somebody who went all the way up to Kolkata knows everything about the entire journey and also knows about the final destination. The first person can tell us everything about the journey to Bhadrak. The second person can guide us about the journey up to Balasore. The third person can guide us how to reach Kolkata. In this world, different gurus have achieved different levels of consciousness with their spiritual practice and sadhana. That's why all the gurus deserve our admiration and respect. But depending on the level of consciousness they have achieved, they can guide us accordingly. And they can take us to a certain level of consciousness which they have mastered. But if you want to achieve supreme consciousness, we need to accept Sadguru or Purushottam, who is the supreme guide. He alone can take us to supreme consciousness, to the highest level of consciousness. That's why we need Purushottam in life, Sadguru in life. It's the prophet of the age who is Purushottam. The prophet of the age is the most evolved personality on the earth of that age. He is the most reformed, most transformed personality. He is the manifestation of human perfection. He himself is the human embodiment of supreme consciousness. Our quest should be to find the supreme guide, or Purushottam. This is where the most important thing about the holy name and meditation unfolds. The holy name or Bees mantra is the cause of the creation, is the vibratory image of supreme consciousness, and Purushottam is the living embodiment of supreme consciousness. or the living embodiment of the holy name. That's why the holy name and in whom the holy name has been embodied are one and the same. Sri Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra says, do meditate. The sound must reach out to me because I am the sound.